somebody sent me a message on WhatsApp asking me to address an issue. And the issue was that what do you do when you are angry at God? I know, sounds hectic, right? And my response was simple, it wasn't complicated. My response was tell him, sit down in prayer and be like, God, I'm angry. I am disappointed. I felt like you could have been better, but you weren't. Like, what's happening? Like, why am I not being successful when I have been doing all I could to walk in your ways, but I'm not seeing the fruits of it? These things happen. So, being a Christian is not about church. Church is a part of it, it's an important and integral part of it, but it's not what it's about. Being a Christian is about a relationship between two people, a relationship between you and God. And anyone will tell you, any psychologist, anyone that's anyone will tell you that one of the most important parts of a relationship is transparency and communication. So when you are sitting there with God and you tell him how you feel, that's transparency. And you being transparent is you laying yourself bare and saying, God, I'm just going to lay myself down and tell you how I feel. And you know what his response is going to be. Let me read you a verse from Isaiah 55, verse 8 to 9. This is a very common verse, but it helps me a lot when I feel like, actually, why don't you, like, actually, I prayed for a car and you gave me a bicycle. So why? And this verse says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Very simple. He knows all, he has and owns all, he made all. So definitely when he gives you a bicycle, he knows why. It's that plain simple. So this is being disappointed and being angry is a part of it. It's okay to feel those things, but your response matters. You need to bring yourself towards yourself and actually be like, hey, at the end of the day, he knows best. When he's not giving you something, he knows best. I'm a mother, and sometimes Elam will cry for, let's say she cries for chocolate, and I'm not giving her chocolate that day. I look mean because I'm like, why she's crying? I'm like letting her cry, and I have chocolate, but I'm not giving her chocolate. Why? Because I know her teeth are gonna rot. So when her teeth have rotten in 7 years, she's gonna be like, why did you give me chocolate? So that's how this relationship works. God can see what we can't see. God knows what we don't. He's all knowing, He's all power, He's all present. And you need to trust God and trust that what He does is what's best for you. His word says, all things work together for good for those who love the Lord. All things, all of them. So if you pray for an airplane and he gives you a wheelbarrow, that wheelbarrow is gonna work for good. There's gonna come a time in or a situation when the only thing that's gonna get you from point A to point B is a wheelbarrow, and the plane wouldn't have done the job. So you need to understand that when he does or when he gives because it's necessary and he is thinking of you. When he gave his son, his only son, he could have withheld his son. He could have made other means. At the end of the day, he's God. He could have even changed the game to say, actually, to redeem, we don't need blood. Maybe I could just change the whole thing because I'm God. But he was like, actually, I'm going to make it hard on myself as well. I'm going to give you the one thing that's super hard to give, the one big thing that is a huge part of me, the one thing that is actually me, to show you that whatever I do is for your good. And all my thoughts, all my high thoughts, all my high ways actually have you in mind. It has your best interest at heart. So think about that. So when you get to a situation again where you're like, God, I'm mad, remind yourself that even though I'm disappointed, I know that you've got me in mind. So for everyone that's feeling disappointed, feeling sad, feeling like God's not coming through, he says, those that wait upon him, he shall renew their strength. I know I'm quoting a lot of verses, but that book actually has a lot of wisdom. This book, Holy Bible, has a lot of wisdom and can get you through anything. It's literally the only book that anybody can read, and it can cover literally anybody's problems, like in one book. Like, you have a problem of drinking, you have a problem of something else, 10 other people have different problems, but one book can deal with all of them. So that's how awesome and how powerful it is. So next time you do feel like God has disappointed you, speak to him. He's there to listen. He's there to accept you as you are. He wants you to come as you are. He doesn't want you to pretend like, God, I'm okay, and then you building up this anger on the inside. Next thing you're like, I'm not going to church anymore, because that's what happens. You build up all this anger. God disappoints you 1, 2, 3, and then you're like, actually, I'm just gonna stop going to church because it's useless. That's because you weren't telling him. When you tell him, when you get to a point where you like, God, I'm mad at you, and give him an opportunity to show you why he did what he did, your perspective changes. And I hope this video makes your perspective change too. All the best. Keep praying, stay safe, and I love you. God loves you too.